Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today's review is going to be all about, well, electrical safety, which kind of electrical connectors are safe, and I actually purchased two new electrical connectors. Now, for you that have been following the channel, you've seen me use these ones here, and these are just lever nut connectors. So you can lift open the lever, you can take one of your wires, put it into the connector, and that's it. Now, is this safe? Is this one safe? Is this one safe? And if we take a look at this one here, this is a 2-wire connector and a 4-wire connector. This one here is manufactured by a company called Wago, and this one here is by a company called Gardner Bender. And so we're just going to take a look at some of the different features of these, and then I'll discuss whether they're safe to use or not in your particular situation. But when we take a look at attaching wires, we get to, well, you take a look at this here, just copper, you twist it, and you can put one of these wire connectors on if you choose, like this, right? And this is one form of a connection. This is another connection with just some 14-2 electrical cable that you would use for your house wiring. And this one here is, again, the same, but it would be indicated as a hot wire. This would be indicated as a neutral wire. Then you get over here and you've got braided. So here's 14 gauge braided in two, and some people would make a connection like that, and Bob's your uncle, right? Now, these here are push-in connectors, which are much different than this style. So when you push the connector in, it goes to the end, and it's got like a spring wire clip that holds it in, and then it's got a contact that's made out of copper that retains it and transfers your voltage and your amperage. Same as on this one. Now, if you're trying to use braided wire, well, you're going to pretty much need to use one of these ferrules. Now, I did a video on the ferrules for you that are new to the channel, and I did a video on these lever nut connectors. I'll put links down below if you'd like to see them and how they all operate and how they work and how this actually fastens on your wire. But that's what they're made for. They're made to make multiple connections. Now, of course, most people would use them with the same conductor. So I mean, if you're gonna put all your hots on one, or all your neutrals on one or the other, that's more likely the way it's going to be. So let's just take a look at this connector here first, and I'll show you some of the features that I like. And it's quite similar to this, your regular receptacle. We'll talk about that too. So let's go on to here, and I'd just like to show you something here. Is they're very small, aren't they? And they're very convenient, where you don't have to go through this process. You can just snap your conductors in and you're finished. So let's go over to this one here first, and I'll show you exactly how this is a great idea for many. Same as this, or just going old school and using this. But it's nice to have options, right? So let's take a look at this, and I'll show you one of the unique features of this, and it's testing port. Okay, so on the end of the connector is a hole. Goes all the way down to the base, and if I can just hear that, that's my multimeter, and it's on continuity testing. So you can check your voltage and make sure you've got a proper connection from there. So let's go on to the 2-port one, and we'll see how that one operates. Now that one there is a little bit different, but if you can take a look here, you can see that there is actually a port on the top side. See if I get this all together here. You can see that there's a port on the top side, and you can test it in there by going through the front. And I think that's a great option to have where you can test like that. So let's see what it's like when you put a wire in. So let's put a wire in one of them, and we'll discuss the safety factor and something that I found interesting as well. Okay, so here we are here, and I'm just going to use one of these with a 4-wire conductor, and you just press it in, and you can see, it might be hard to see, but you can see the conductor shining through here. It's hard to pick up on camera with the glare, but it's an identifier. You can see the conductor's gone all the way through. There is a specification on how much you strip off of your wire, so you have to follow that. Now, do these wires come out? I'll tell you something. No, they don't come out. I can pull on this, and yeah, they don't come out. Now, it does say that you can remove them, and you just twist it, and you can keep twisting them until you pull it out, and yes, it will come out. And it's the same for this one here. But I want to show you something. So take a look at this right here. When I bought this case here, I bought this case, and I looked at all the instructions. Now there's 100 in here. I got 100 for 12 bucks. That's the 2-wire conductor. And I read everything on here. And you know what? You got to go to the manufacturer's website to actually read the proper instructions. So I did go on YouTube, and I seen somebody like I did where they took one of these and they put the wire in and they pulled it out, and then after they said, yes, that's how you take it out, and they're perfectly fine to reuse. Now let's take a look at the Gardner Bender website and take a look. And you see the highlighting there? Well, the description below shows how to actually remove a wire, and then right down there where you see the highlighting, one-time use only. So let's just take a look and see at the first time I have ever experienced one of these spring connectors or instant connections, or one of these connectors that, well, frankly, is a real time saver. And it was your regular receptacle. So if we just take a look at your regular receptacle here, and you could see you have connections on the side, for the neutral, for the your hot wire, and then you go on the back. Well, they have the exact same thing on the back. And you can take your wire and you could insert it, and it's in there. It's in there pretty good. I'll take this one out and show you. See, it's pretty solid. So yeah, it is pretty solid in there. Now this one here is the only one that I know of that has a little port on the side above it. You press on that port and you just pull the wire out, and that's it. So I just got a little screwdriver here and it pulls out. So let's just have a little bit of a discussion now on safety and whether these are safe to use or not. And I'm going to share my opinion, and let's get started right now. So what we're looking at here is just a regular small fuse panel, fuse box. We're going to open it up, and we're going to take a look inside. Okay, so that's it right there. Nothing special, right? Except we're going to get around to where the contacts are laid out. Now, the connection points on here are right here. Now you see these two lugs? Man, they are big lugs, and this whole panel is only designed for 15 amps for each side. And take a look at the connectors, the connectors that are on here. You got to tighten this right down, reef on this, make it nice and tight, and that's how the connection is made there. Then we just go over to this regular one right here. Now this is your regular receptacle, and you could see that you've got a screw fastener that goes down here to a big contact pad of brass, and that's how the contact is made there. Or you can use these four right here, right? So the whole idea behind electrical, doing your own electrical and electrical safety is, well, taking a look and see whether the product that you're using is certified for the use. And if you take a look at a lot of the ratings, like take for instance this one here, Gardner Bender, this is CSA and UL certified. And if we take a look at the Wago, similar. So I mean, you know, depending on your country. So let's just talk a little bit about the safety factor now. When something is certified by an independent laboratory like Underwriters Laboratory or Canadian Standards Association, they're actually testing electrical products for compliance, for safety, and their use. So when we take a look at a conductor and you're using it to insert in one of these, well, are they safe? Well, if you're watching a YouTube video and you see somebody that tells you they're safe or not, and how to use them, I'll just go back to this reference here with these. Yeah, there's one video I watched where they said, yeah, I'll show you how to remove it, and the video was all about how to remove the pushing connector, how to get the wire out of it. And then after, they said, yeah, and now it's perfectly fine to reuse. Well, you know what? I showed you that it's not perfectly fine to reuse for this particular unit here. And the reasoning behind it, where somebody watches a YouTube video and uses that for an example and say, oh yeah, they're perfectly fine to reuse, and they will tell 100 people they're perfectly fine to reuse, unless they check it out for themselves. So when you're thinking about something that's, well, supposed to be safe to use and whether you should use them in your residential wiring, I've talked before how these ones here I only use for my solar projects and that kind of thing. Now, I have one of these connected using the back method here. I got one receptacle at my camp. It's been like that for 10 years. I've never noticed a problem, but many people do not like this, right? It's their own opinion. A lot of people don't like these. They just say, no, don't use them. It's that opinion. So where you get into a little bit of a problem of discussion on YouTube is, you're allowed to share your opinion. You can't share things that are false. So let's just go down a hypothetical road of somebody mentioning, okay, we'll go with Gardner Bender here. And somebody makes a YouTube video and says, you know, these connectors here, well, if you use these, they're going to burn your house down. And so what's going to happen? Well, absolutely nothing. You got 500 views, nothing's going to happen. You got 1,000 views, nothing's going to happen. You got 1,000,000 views. Well, somebody that's supposed to watch the brand integrity of Gardner Bender may look at it and may not. Now, if you happen to get lucky and you make a video on YouTube where you're saying that the product is unsafe, you're saying that the product will do horrific things to you, and well, whether you're being slanderous or you're just, well, stating things that are false, even though they're your own opinions. And you're allowed to share your own opinions, but opinions are opinions. They're not actually facts. So if you want to go down that road, when you get to 10 million views, somebody's gonna send you a letter and say, take your video down or we're going to sue you. And that'd be the best outcome. The other income will be that they'll just sue you for, defamation and slander and whatever the other things that you've done to to trash the company and their product, because brands, really are, well, they're very delicate when it comes to brand reputation. And if you get somebody on YouTube that just has their opinion, saying, they don't like them, that's fine. Or if they're saying, if myself, I won't use these, or I will use them, or whatever, that's fine. But if you go down that road of going a little bit too far, where you're saying things about the product that is actually passed by all the regulations and all the safety standards, well, you might be in for a load of hurt. Now, something like this here has absolutely no standards on it, no regulations, no nothing. I really don't think that they would even bother with you no matter what you said about this one. This one here, big North American brand, I wouldn't want to fool around. I wouldn't want to fool around, trashing this company either. So, that's something when you're thinking about electrical safety. Do your own homework. Don't rely on somebody on YouTube to tell you what's safe and what's not safe, because none of them people are going to be around when something happens and you're going to say, oh, I watched a YouTube video and they said that these are reusable. I didn't know. I just took the guy's word for it that he knew what he was talking about. So I think the suggestion would be to look into things yourself. I mean, today with our technology, you can send an email off to a company like this, and you could ask questions if you like, and you can look on their website and you could see where it says one-time use only. You can take a look and see what the ratings are, the amperage, the voltage, everything else. Be informed, because when you're not informed, that's when you make mistakes. Thanks for joining me here today. I hope you found this interesting. Look forward to me actually using these in the future on my projects of my off-grid cabin up in Northern Ontario. And come back again, and let's see another video in the future of me using this and doing it safely.